Hello, Brian the Fanboy here, and September 10th, 2020 is the 30th anniversary of the Disney Afternoon. Now, in honor of the lineup's 30th anniversary, I did watch the original lineup on Disney Plus, which of course was The Adventures of Gummy Bears, DuckTales, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and Tailspin. And not only that, I'm gonna review each episode that I saw. I mean, I'm not gonna review every episode of the shows, but yes, according to what I saw that day. But anyway, yeah, I mean on Friday. Well, anyway, here it goes. Now, the first show I saw um, for the celebration is, of course, The Adventures of the Gummy Bears. Now, I didn't see this show, back when the Disney Afternoon was new because I was watching uh, other cartoons, another channel, which I forgot the name was. But so technically, this was my first time watching a full episode of Gummy Bears. Now, what happened in the episode? Well, the first thing it was the first episode, and well, it started with these two guys. This older guy and I forgot his name, and the younger one, Calvin. I think he's 12 years old, maybe he's 13. But yes, the we're going somewhere, and he Gavin was bullied by the older person because he was wearing a gummy bear battalion, and well, for humans over there, they've been told that gummy bears were just fairy tales that they never existed. Now, around the same time, I think was the kingdom, I forgot the name of the kingdom, but the Duke, well, he was planning to invade the kingdom, and then during an attack, Gavin was saved by the gummy bears. Of course, at first the gummy bears were reluctant to help him because, well, they don't know that much about humans. And then ogres came attacking, and well, the gummy bears were into hiding, and Gavin followed. Now, here's the thing: when the gummy bears were first introduced in the show, well, I noticed some things. There was I remember his name. Oh yes, Tommy Gummy. When I heard him speak, I realized that he sounded just like Digger. I mean, for the new Adventures of Winnie, because I remember that voice. And then there's another neighbor named Tommy Gummy, and he's the eater, and well, he sounded like Garfield from the series I saw when I was a kid. I recognize the voice. And then there's a Grammy Gummy. I recognize her voice as well because I heard it in other cartoons. Now, the other gummies, well, there was Ruffy Gummy, and he's about two things the coming way, and there's Sunny Gummy, he's kind of like a teenager, I think, and Gubby Gummy. Yeah, I think he's supposed to be the youngest and the smallest. Yes, and well, oh, another thing, they had this line that says that humans don't need gummy bears, which I think was kind of ironic because, when we say we eat gummy bears, we're talking about a candy. So I thought that was kind of ironic. But anyway, eventually Gavin was introduced to the gummy bears, and it revealed that they make a thing called gummy berry juice, in which helps the gummy bears bounce. But when the human drinks it, it gives them super strength. And then eventually, oh yes, they had to make a deal. Is that Gavin was promised not to reveal the existence of the coming bears. And, he made a promise, and it's been confirmed. And also, well, he wanted the coming bears to help him fight the Duke. and save the kingdom, but the Cannibals were largely because, well, they prefer not to get involved, because, well, for graphic coming, human conflicts is not their problem. But then, they learned that, basically learned that in ancient times, the Cannibals did help uh, those who were in need, and eventually they helped Kevin. Oh, another thing that another character was Princess. I forgot her name, but from what I've seen, I think that he has a crush on the princess, and I think the princess feels the same way as well. But I only saw one episode, so I wouldn't know unless see the whole series through. So, oh yes, and then eventually the Cannibals helped out, and well, the Duke was defeated, and then by the end of the episode, they wrote a new speech, and their age of book, and that was the end of the first episode of the Clean Bears. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but I don't want to get, I don't want to make it too long, for it. Now, the next show I saw was Tugtail, and it was called Sin and the Clones. Now, in this episode, well, at first I was expected to watch, the, how the nephews can live with Squish Method, but that was not the first episode shown on Disney Plus. I don't think it's on there, but you can check it out if you haven't. But anyway, the episode I saw was Santa Clones, and well, in that episode, a reporter was scheduled to come to McDuck Mansion for an interview. And Scrooge gave Huey, Dewey, and Louie money to go to the movies, and they're expected to be in the basic behavior as well. But anyway, at the same time, Magica, well, she freed the Beagle Boys because she has a plan to steal Scrooge's first time. And yes, to do that, she turned the Beagle Boys into Huey, Dewey, and Louie. So while the nephews were, so while nephews were out in for the movies, the imposters were out to steal the time. And then things got crazy very soon because well, for one thing, this is big league, but they got back early from the movies and told them to put on their good clothes because the reporter was coming. And then the real nephews came back, and that's when all the craziness started. Of course, the real nephews they quickly came with the conclusion that Miss Piggy has been Cracker Snatch, which is kind of a I think this is a parody of this old movie you heard about. Never seen it, but Body Snatchers. I think that was supposed to be a parody, yeah. But yes, the and then Magic gave in the form of Mrs. Bigley to help move things along faster. And he was everything was getting all crazy in that episode. Eventually, they found they grabbed Scrooge first time and went back, and then on the plane ride to the headquarters, Magica turned the imposters back into their own forms, but not Huey. Although the imposter Huey he turned back into one of the Beagle Boys. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention that while they're physically look like the nephew use the spell, the problem was that only the reflection can which was the true identities. And then eventually Miss Billy and the Beatles were kidnapped, but then eventually they found a way to escape. And then the captured Beagle Boy, let me help you here. Yes. the captured Beagle Boy, when he was ready with no supper, he told everybody, the whole plan. So they went to Magica's headquarters to save the day. And then, Yui and Magica threw magic stuff at each other, and eventually, at the end of the battle, Scrooge offered him his real time because, the time the villain stole was actually a decoy or something. Because Scrooge always carried his person around. So they made a trade to save his family, and finally they left. And the reporter was so amazed that Scrooge McDuck would give his all, was willing to give his priceless station just to save his family. Of course, it turns out that Scrooge didn't really give his time at all. He used a fake, and ended with him saying that he did not become rich by being stupid. And then, when Magica added her spell with the time, uh, it backfired. And that was the end of that episode. Now, the next show I saw afterwards was Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. And let's see, oh yes, well, here's the thing. It's called Piracy Under the Sea, and well, when I saw the beginning, I was confused because, well, when I was a kid watching Disney Afternoon, well, there was this episode that showed how the Rescue Rangers came to be. Of course, when I did some research, turns out that was for the second season. So eventually, I saw the first episode of the first season, and it's also because it was Dale's turn to take care of the mess, but he was too lazy. Then when he went out to do what he was supposed to do, he got kidnapped. I mean, he got kidnapped, and then ended up in a bowl of garbage. And the rescue just had to go and save him. And then eventually, pirates came from under the sea, and well, Chip and Dale were captured, and the rest had to figure a way to save them. And turns out that pirates that were captured were also rats. So technically, they were pirates. Get it? And well, one of the things they do is it turns out they've been waiting for some captain who disappeared 200 years ago, or at least 200 years before the events of that episode, and they're still waiting. And during that time they stayed, and they sing songs and battles and look for treasure. And here's the thing about the treasure finding: that it turns out that they use different maps, but they find a different treasure every. I mean, they find that same treasure every week by using different maps, which is kind of pretty silly. And then, well, now eventually, meanwhile, Gadget has already made something to hurt them go into the water to save the friends. I forgot the stuff they made, but they went in and went into the pirate ship where the friends are. And then, Montgomery Jack, well, he learned about the captain, and he disguised himself as a pirate captain. And well, of course, the pirates were not completely stupid because, well, for one thing, they had somebody who, a former cabin boy, who I was supposed to know the captain before he left. And well, he did everything. He checked for everything to make sure it was a cat or not. And it was silly because at the end of Michael checked everything he was told that the captain was supposed to do, and eventually they believed he was the missing captain. And then Gashi came back and asked what's going on, and she was told that she'll be still long later. Now, eventually, the pirates offered cheese, and then because my family loves cheese, it kind of affected him, and they find out that he wasn't the real captain at all, but an imposter. And as punishment, the rescue rangers had to walk the plank. But of course, they kind of found a way to escape, and well, not only that, but the ship that were turned out has, put it back into the water. Oh, and during that time, the episode, the pirates were dealing with this creature called Billy the Squid, which of course is a kind of a parody of Billy the Kid. But anyway, yes, and let's see, yes, and now he was Billy Squid. Now it's kind of like a sailing thing, and well, the pirates have gone on the run of new adventures now, and that was the end of that episode. Now the final show I saw at the works was Tailspin. Now, there really, there really is this four-part episode where the shows, that sets up the series. But the episode I saw was, took place after those events. So it was from here to machinery. And well, what happened was that there was this guy who invented a mechanical pilot, and well, he wanted to show that his machine is more convenient than a regular pilots. And then when Baloo learned that the theater was being used for an experiment, well, he didn't like the idea of anybody flying his plane. Although Peggy would point out that it's her plane. I'm guessing because she owns it or something like that. But well, anyway, eh, oh yes, the inventor, he went to Shere Khan and would offer to sell one of his pilots for him, but Shere Khan, well, he wasn't sure just yet because he wanted to know if his invention came up to standards. And he told him that if the machine were to outperform a real pilot, that he might consider buying one of his conceptions. So the inventor decided to destroy Baloo, and what he did was, well, he got Baloo so angry that they ended up selling things in a race. So if you have the Baloo to race against one of the machines, and everybody was counting on him. I mean, the pilots Shere Khan hasn't paid before, as well as the freelancers, and even Becky was counting on Baloo to win because, well, she runs a cargo service. And then at the race, well, eventually, late at night, Baloo got so sleepy, but he tried his very best to try to win the competition because, well, he didn't want a machine to beat him. But of course, he eventually fell asleep, and well, by the time he got up, it was already day, and eventually he lost the race, and all the pilots went out of the job because, well, what happened was that after the race, Shere Khan bought all of the machines, and yes, so it was a new change for the pilot industry. Let me have it here. Yes, well, eventually, Shere Khan wanted to. Oh yeah, forgot. Nah, after that, oh yes, and only that. Well, before the events of that episode, well, Louis he had a picture of Baloo in a Hall of Fame, but because he lost the race, the robot had to take his place. Which and Louis was sad that he could have do that, but uh, that's how things were. Now, yes, also the Air Pirates, led by Don Carnage, he well read about these new mechanical pilots and want to try out what it's like. And then being and the plane that Shere Khan and the event were in, well once they learned of the pirates getting closer, they told the robot to change course, but the pilot, I mean the mechanical, the robot uh, won't do it because it goes against that the course he was programmed to go to. So which then cause some trouble. And then when Baloo, Kid, and got the friend's name, but heard about it, he Baloo decided to go out and help, and then he went to the airplane, and then let's see, oh yes, well Baloo destroyed the robot and started to fly the plane himself, and eventually defeat the air pirates and did retreat it. And at the end of that battle, Shere Khan uh, would offer to return all the robots to the Avenger with the get his money back, like get a refund. And well, he scared the Avenger into agreeing by holding him up like this, and outside the plane door, he just scared him. So he went to agreed, and well, all the pilots went back to work. I mean, got a job back, and the inventor ended up in a snowy climate to sell his robots uh, with new functions. And that would be the episode. So, yep, those were the four episodes of the new shows I saw on Disney Plus. And if you want to see any more shows that you should be on the Disney afternoon, you can go to Disney Plus and watch whatever it is you decide to watch. And I'm not being paid by Disney to make this video. I'm just doing something fun for the 30th anniversary of the Disney afternoon. So I guess that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.